We're joined now by Amjad Shawa, the director of the Palestinian NGOs Network. You're joining us from Gaza City. Amjad, we're talking today about the 100 children who have been killed by Israel's policy of starvation, who died of hunger and malnutrition. Now, to anybody who has been following events, even from afar, events in Gaza, inside the Gaza Strip, this was utterly predictable.
Thank you. That's right. We have 100 children who died from the acute malnutrition, but there is still tens of thousands of other children who are suffering from acute malnutrition. And what had been entered of the baby formula or food supplementary items, which is only enough for 10% of the children. There is no milk yet. There is nothing can be delivered. There is 55,000 infants that their mothers cannot feed them, breastfeeding them, or there is no milk. So you can imagine the situation. There is high risk on all the new generations in Gaza. These children less than 5 years old, the 350,000 who are less than 5 years old, and as families, we cannot manage to get them the one main meal that they are supposed to receive. If we can manage to get them some bread only to feed them. This is the case here in Gaza Strip. And I cannot separate the issue of malnutrition from the thirst, from the diseases, from the immunity that these children, became less and less. And they are suffering from so many diseases, from this pollution that we have, whilst we have no water, no hygiene to provide these families, while they are staying in tents in such a humid, hot weather that most of the tents damaged and it's need to be replaced. And from the 2nd of March till now, there is no tents entered Gaza. We need for 350,000 tents in order to replace the old ones. And whilst these children are traumatized in very critical moments. So it's this package of suffering that these children are suffering from. Add to this that this kind of threat of the applying of the new Israeli government plan, it's an added horrible nightmare that every single Palestinian thinking about.
Amjad, there's been a very small actually, uptick in the amount of aid that is entering the Gaza Strip. We're talking about trucks delivering food in the last 8 to 9 days. And also the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation wants to increase the number of food distribution sites from 4 to 16. This is after Donald Trump, the US president, has said he wants more food to get into Gaza. Look, do you think that this can either slow down or stop the starvation and stop the deaths?
It's kind of increasing the number of death traps on the south of Gaza Strip, using aid as weapon in order to push the Palestinians and to pressure them to forcibly displace from the Gaza north to the south. This is A. B, it's risky sites. It's very risky that each Palestinian could be killed, injured, humiliated. There is no humanitarian system or structure on these sites till now. So the issue now that this GHF is trying its best to replace the humanitarian UN structure and its partners. And mainly the UNRWA. UNRWA only has 400 distribution sites in all over Gaza Strip. So 4 or 16 is not enough first. Second, it's not categorized as a humanitarian site. And also, it's considered part of the Israeli agenda to serve the Israeli agenda on the displacement, on attacking the Palestinian civilians. This is real time to take decisions to stop these sites, A, and B, to get GHF and the Israelis accountable towards this killing of the aid seekers who are coming in order to receive aid, and instead of that, they were killed or injured.
Well, so let me ask you this then. Let me put it this way. What happens if the current situation continues as it is? So I'm looking at the numbers of truck food and aid truck deliveries. It's been about 80 trucks a day for the last week or so, bearing in mind that before the war, Gaza needed at least 500 trucks a day. So it's well below pre-war levels, well before pre-war levels. If it remains as it is now, what happens in terms of starvation?
Look, Gaza in need now for 1,000 trucks loads every day. We are in very catastrophic conditions never Gaza witnessed. You are talking about 500 trucks in normal days. And during the ceasefire, we used to have 600 trucks, and which wasn't enough. Now we are in need for 1,000 trucks. What had been entered is very limited amount. It couldn't improve the situation in Gaza. It's Israel, through this, want to control the situation, and famine as it is, and we have very limited amount of aid which is received, mainly medical items. Most of the items were looted or self-distributed by the aid seekers. So nothing till now entered between the hands of the UN and the international and national NGOs that we can distribute to alleviate part of the suffering that people are facing. And we are talking also about very limited items that allowed to be entered. Still, there is no tents, no non-food items entered, and the food which is entered with very limited counted numbers of items that entered. So, and also the international NGOs, till now it's denied access to enter its supplies from outside to Gaza. So what I'm scared about the continuation of the situation, and there will be more deterioration in the humanitarian conditions if the aid will not be entered in very big amounts that can alleviate the suffering in Gaza.
Amjad Shawa, director of the Palestinian NGOs Network. Thank you very much.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.